All right, I think we are live right now. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about something which I find really interesting. Is that so? How do we study, right? How do we study? I mean, I think I'm going to share this stream in a way that kind of really interesting or bizarre. It's maybe sometimes I will talk about something that is I will talk about something that is not actually really thought through, I think. Okay, but I don't think so. Can I only share I don't to share video capture device, screen capture device, display capture, window capture. Window capture, okay, RoamResearch. All right, yeah, this is cool. So we're only going to, I'm only going to show you about the RoamResearch. Yeah, because otherwise the other apps may have something. Let me check. It's okay. Yeah, that's good. All right. So I'm going to talk about learning in general, some of the big questions. Why do we want to learn? Big questions. What do we want to learn? How can we learn? Right? So these kind of things are not usually discussed, I think, between people, but I think those kind of things are actually very important to talk about, right? When you meet someone, right, they have certain knowledge and you want to ask, okay, why are you interested in this topic? Why do we want to learn this? And I mean, learning something can have two ways. There are two ways to learn. Two ways to learn. First one is for your interest. Second one is for your career. Right. So for example, learning programming, right? Some people want to learn programming to it's their hobby. They want to control computer to do certain things. And for other people, it's their career, it's their passion. And I think, and for me, it's when I'm learning art, when I'm learning about the history of a painting, the history of a painter, and also how the architecture sculptures, that how they are created. And I'm thinking about, okay, so those are my interests. I may have that kind of knowledge, but I'm not really going to be an art historian or to build TV shows about art. That's not actually what I want to do in my career. But I think it would be also interesting to build this kind of thing. And I mean, also when I'm streaming right now, right? I'm kind of sharing knowledge, but I'm also trying to perform. Yeah, so I'm trying to be a very good streamer. This means, okay, let's see, okay. Example, trying to be a good streamer. So if I want to be a very good streamer, what kind of things do I need to think about? First, I need to be able to talk constantly. I mean, I think this is really important. I mean, because for my perspective, like usually I stream, like is either I'm working or I'm talking. I'm not really like being into okay. So I'm like playing games, like there's another thing that is moving that can attract like people's attention. Usually the attention, the attract of the attention usually came from me, right? But as you can see, I'm not very visually attractive. So I can only like use some like kind of language or stories or kind of performance to attract people, right? So first you need to be able to talk constantly, and you need to have good content and thought, right? People watching your videos, they should be able to learn something from you, and they should be able to like take some interesting take-home messages, and it can actually help them to do something. Okay. Yeah, so now I have explained that why I want to be a streamer, because yeah, I can share this knowledge, and I have a really deep passion about performing, about like really like bring positive emotions to people. I think this is kind of really nice. So I'm learning, try to be a streamer, and these are the things that I think I need to learn, and I think I need to like do them. And I think for learning, some people said that if you want to learn something, just do them a lot. Well, I think that is correct. I think that is the foundation, right? You need to do them a lot. If you don't do them a lot, okay, forget about it. You will never be good at it. But even if you do them a lot, there are still some concerns you need. There are still something you need to take into account. For example, I can play basketball like all day, like shooting, right? Maybe at the time I can shoot really well, but can I really perform in a really competitive game? Obviously I cannot, right? Because I don't have the physical strength, I don't have the strategy in mind. I mean, shooting is just one thing. You can do shooting really, really well, but if you are in court, you don't have the ball in your hand, you cannot shoot, right? So those kind of things are like, not only you need one thing, but you need a whole system. You need a whole system in order to help you to achieve the goal, to achieve whether the career goal or the academic goal or some other different goals that you want to achieve. I think these kind of things are really important. So it's not about like trying to do them a lot, but try to do them a lot in a very systematic way. Yeah, okay. So let's start from the big questions. Yeah. I think this will be like more like organized, because you can say that I'm speaking while I'm thinking. So it's kind of like a live way that I'm trying to organize all this kind of information before you, and it also could be interesting to see that in the future, like how I'm struggling to pulling all of this knowledge from my head. Okay, so first, why do we want to learn? That's easy, right? Why do we want to learn? There are two ways to learn. Why do we want to learn? First, for our interest, and second, for our career, right? Yeah, that's basically it. And what do you want to learn? I mean, it really depends on like what kind of career you want to choose, what kind of interest that you're going to choose, and so it depends on your personal needs. And I think another question which could be really, really important is how deep you want to learn. this I think is a critical thing that we really need to think about. Like, I'm interested in arts, right? But I'm not going to like really dig deep into like how art historian actually works. How do they like date the date of the paintings? How do they compare different styles and see how the styles are moving, see who is the most important person in a certain style and how his work kind of influence other people, and to go down this like rabbit hole. So everything has a rabbit hole. So everything, it's like a branch, right? Everything has a rabbit hole, a sub branch from a, I think from a, what called? Oh yeah, from a root, a sub branch from a root. So we can think about all the knowledge. It's like a tree, right? It has a root. It has like a main, the main branch, and there are like sub branch, and there are like sub branch, and sub like cube branches, something like that. It is like tree, it's spread out, right? So if you want to learn something, it depends on like how deep you want to learn, or like how wide or deep that you really want to learn something. So I think that really depends on your goal and what you want to use that specific knowledge. Right. Okay, let's see. Okay, maybe I'm going to put myself in here. Yeah, I think this will be better, because I want you to like see the see this. All right. Yeah, it really depends on your goal, right? You want to achieve something, and how we can learn. How can we learn? We can learn from like anywhere. We can learn from people. We can learn from like traditional ways. We can learn from courses, books, teachers, writer, etc. Courses, books, and online materials, hands-on experience. Yeah, we can learn from these different ways. But I think the other thing that is really important, not only how can we learn? Basically, where can we find those information? And how can we organize the information? And I think that the way to like organize those kind of information is, one thing is important is to so I think one thing it is really important is to take notes, right? You really want to like take notes about the stuff. But I think the more interesting way to think about it, you're going to write a textbook about it. So if you are going to write a textbook, Basically, this means if you know nothing about the subject, your goal is to write a textbook that other people can learn from you. This is a ridiculous goal. Yeah, I know, but that's, I think, how really like efficient learning actually works. You know nothing, right? You want to be an expert. Not only you want to be an expert of something, you want to be an expert which you can teach other people and make other people learn this thing faster. I think this is actually a really good goal, right? And you take different pieces of information, you reorganize them together, you re-narrate it in a way that is engaging, it's fun, it's really interesting to and really easy to digest, and you let people learn based on your materials. And how to write a textbook about it, right? So you need to think about a story. You really need to think about the story. It's like a textbook. I think a really good textbook is really like a story, where a story was like you're visiting a park, so you need a map, right? Not only you need a map, but you need a route. Think about the story or a route, and this route should be meaningful. It should explain to you, okay, why am I going to take you to the first one, and how can I from first one to the second one to the third one to the later, right? So there's a route, and this route needs to be logical. It needs to be like people can say that, okay, I really like this route. And yeah, and you need to have a story. And basically, based on that story, you can have specific examples, specific like tasks, concepts, or like methods, or like ideas. Like every knowledge was created to solve problems, and here is really important. It's like identify the problems that they want to solve. I think Elon Musk said that. I think it's Elon Musk who said this. Like, if you want to learn something really, really quickly, first you need to know why you want to learn it. You need to have a purpose. And the purpose was like, okay, I'm going to teach you this. I'm going to let you through a journey of that. And I'm going to tell you, all right, if you learn this, you can do something like that. Tell a story like, if you learn this, you are able to do something like this. Okay, it's like this. So yeah. So for example, if you learn to programming, you can make a computer to do everything that you wanted to do, right? Yeah. So that's a goal, right? That's a goal. I mean, so the first thing you need to say, okay, I want a computer to like set an alarm, right? Yeah, this is just a trivial example. Let computer set an alarm. Okay, this is your goal. Okay, what is the first thing that you need to think about? It's okay, computer set an alarm. Alarm means two things. First, you need to be able to record time, right? You need to be able to let your computer know, okay, what time is it right now? And you need to make a sound. You need to let your computer to make a sound. Or like your phone. I mean, it's similar stuff. And okay, so See, now we kind of make it set an alarm. We kind of do this and we set of this in like two ways. So our first task would be find out how computer recognize time and how to make a computer screen. Yeah. So I think basically you want the computer to do these two things, right? First to recognize time, and the other thing is you want it to screen. Okay, now we have divided the problem. Now we have two like sub problems. In order to solve like the general role, right? Setting an alarm. We need to record time and we need to make a sound. And we divide it into like two different subtasks. And then we can further divide it into like sub tasks into like furthermore. And yeah, it will be like really interesting to go down this rabbit hole and you will learn about, okay, how does computer actually tell time? What is 1 second in the computer actually means? And how can we convert time, right? So let's say if I want to set an alarm in AD1, how can I do that? How to do that? And making sound, right? Making sound from a computer is not easy because sound is a wave, right? It's a wave. I mean, it's a continuous thing. But computer can only generate like zeros and ones that are discrete. How do you transfer the discrete thing to the analog thing, like the sound? Those kind of things are kind of interesting to learn, right? So this is just one small ideas. So if you have these small ideas and you can spread out, and yeah, you have so many interesting stuff. Okay, yeah, take notes in your own way. In your own way. This basically means you need to prioritize what you want to learn, and you need to organize the information based on your understanding, and also you need to use your own language and your own thoughts. Do a translation and duration. Okay, what do I mean by that? Okay, does anyone? Liang Jerry, hi, hello. And output drivers input start from the specific problem that needs to be solved, then break down the problem and learn the knowledge needed to solve each smaller problem. Yes, that is correct. Very good summary, thanks. Yeah, so take notes, right? And first you need to prioritize what you want to learn, because like if you want to learn programming, for example, if you want to learn a specific language, right? Then there are like so many different things that to learn. It's like everything was like an onion, right? It has different layers. And if you want to learn them, you really need to first understand, okay, what kind of specific things that I want to learn. So what do I want to use my knowledge? Then you want to search those knowledge. I mean, if you have like different tasks, maybe you need different kind of knowledge. Then your idea about, okay, I'm going to learn a programming language is not really well defined. You need to really define, okay, I want to use this programming language to help me to achieve certain tasks. This is more well-defined problem. and you can easily like evaluate whether you can actually achieve this goal or not. Yeah, so take notes. You're going to write text about it and how we can learn. Yeah. Big questions. I think we basically, yeah. Example, trying to be a cool streamer. Yeah, learn something deeply. So learn something deeply. I think I have already like explained it in here. How can we organize those information, take notes, and yeah, you're going to write a textbook about that. And I think, yeah, this is very important. So I think every time like when we are trying to learn something, we really need to ask ourselves first, is this necessary? Do I have to learn it? Then we need to really think about why do we need to learn it? And if we learn that, what kind of outcome do we really want to get from that? And based on that outcome, we can go back and to map, because we know where we are right now and we know where we're going. So it's just to map a path that, I mean, the path has to be really, really rigorous. I mean, if you really think about it, it can be like this. So yeah, learn something deeply. First, you need to know where you are headed, your destination, and that usually means what you want to learn, how deep you want to learn, what are you going to use your information to solve your specific problem. That is one thing. And know where you are headed. Start from the destination and like dissect the problems into smaller problems. And once you have dissected into smaller problems, understand the task in like input, process, output framework. I think this is very useful thinking framework to think about stuff. So everything is input, process, output. Basically, you start from the output, and you can also define your input. And from your input and from your output, you can design this process. If you give it different input, your process will be different. For example, if you write a Python function, right? The structure of your input parameters really determines how you are going to write this function. So it's really important to define the interface. Like define the interface between different tasks, clearly define the input and output for each task and how they can be connected together. I think this is really important. And for this one, I think you can use the freeform on Mac or on iPad to do that, because on freeform that you can have arrow, right? And you can give like inputs, for example, the blue color, the output maybe green color, and the process maybe like other different colors, purple, maybe. Those are the colors that I would like to use. Yeah, so you need to have input, you need to have output, and basically for like everything, you can define your input, you can define your output. The beauty of this is that you can design whatever interface you want. The interface is really crucial for this. And once you have defined the interface, you have the input, you have the output, then your process was clear. Then all you need to do is to Like for each process, you may write a different function and you just combine them together into a whole large process. Yeah, and that's it. You have solved the problem. And sometimes that if you cannot solve the problem, that usually happens. First, you don't have enough input. I mean, for example, like if you want to predict whether a company stock will go up and down tomorrow, right? What kind of information would you need? I mean, some people say that, okay, I need information about like the current market value of this company. I need some news of this company. I need their like the sector that they're in and what kind of movement, what kind of government policies are on those markets. Yeah, that are like useful information. But I think the most useful information is that if you can probe, right, like every single person that are going to buy or sell, that the price in their mind really determines the price of the company, right? If so many people think that, oh, this company will be great in the future, will have a really high like market value, then yeah, then the price of that will be higher because people are willing to like spend more money to buy the stock. I mean, so the real variable was the price in people's mind, right? People thought, okay, this worth it or this not worth it. But this kind of information is really hard to get. So all you can get are like secondary or like indirect information, and you want to use those indirect information to predict what people will think. So you're basically missing like one really important part is like, what do people really think about this company? And this can be different statistics, different functions. Yeah, so you are basically missing informations. But in this case, you cannot really get the information that you need. So I think sometimes it is necessary to make decisions if you don't have enough information. That's basically how life is. Sometimes you really don't know where to make decisions, right? Yeah. So basically, yeah, everything you can think about it is input, process, output. This is the foundation, the fundamental like structure of like approaching everything. And you start from the output and you define the input and you're trying to build a bridge between the input and the output. And when you build like from the beginning, you will see like, okay, where I am right now and where I'm going and all the interconnections, all the networks in between that you already said, okay, so here's your plan. And based on that plan, you can say that, okay, how long am I going to spend on this? Can I accelerate that? Can I hire more people to like do this? Can I, and what kind of information do I need? Do I need to learn something new? Or there is some like existing like code or like methods that I can directly apply? Do I need to modify something like that? So those kind of things that you really need to consider. Yeah. All right. I guess I'm kind of saying what I'm trying to say. And this 34 minutes, I think this will be a very short but very interesting stream. I don't know whether you are interested or not, but I'm having a lot of fun. All right. So yeah, tomorrow we will go back to our regular like stream. And I will work, I will share with you some of my ideas. And okay, so see you tomorrow, guys. Bye bye.